My name is Yoshiyuki Ando. I live in Tokyo, Japan. I would like to introduce gravitational waves and the Maxwell's equation. This is the Maxwell's equation. He showed from this formula the electromagnetic wave speed is the light speed. And recent study, gravitational waves are light speed and transverse wave. Then those two waves, electromagnetic waves and gravitational waves, look similarity, light speed, transverse wave. Then extend this Maxwell equation to the Newton's law, like this. Assume the same equation and introduce a new force, Fs. This Maxwell equation, there are two parameters, epsilon 0 and mu 0. Those are the parameters for the two forces. One is electrostatic force and another one is magnetic force. Then the same formula. One is Newton's law of universal gravity and also a new force Fs. And here this G is gravitational constant, like this value. And to adjust the same formula style, G is modified to this style from the light speed c and small g. From this equation, small a here is this formula and the value is this. Therefore, new force Fs is finally this formula. And here S and small s are the area speed. Then from the next page, I will evaluate this new force for the planetary motion and the electron in the hydrogen atom, assuming large s and small s are area speed of cross-section area rotating its axis. The first study case is the planetary motion. In this case, I will compare the universal gravitation and the new force between the Sun and each planet. Universal gravitation between the Sun and the Mercury using this data for mass as follows, and the value is like this. New force between the Sun and the Mercury using following these data. This is new force, and this is assumption of S like this. S for the Sun for new force is like this value. And also S for the Mercury is this formula and like this. Therefore, new force between the Sun and the Mercury is finally this. And other forces between the Sun and other planets shows this gravity and also new force. And for example, compare between gravitational force and new force around the same range. Our evaluations to be varied widely. you can see between each planet case. But this evaluation is based on one example and no consideration about the effects of the satellite and its shape, orbit, orbit, orbit inclination, and rotation direction differences. Also, the, what is this area speed? This is, I assume, only this assumption. Then the force and the gravity will be more balanced when all condition is adjusted, I think. Then I think current theory, the centrifugal force is balance with gravity will be restudied, I think. Next study, this new force is for the electron movement in the hydrogen atom. According to the Coulomb's law, the force between a proton and electron is this formula and this value, finally this value. For a new force, assume following conditions. The first one is electron radius equal this value. This is rather small comparing to recent estimation. Then the cross-section area is this value. The second assumption is electron is rotating on its axis. The third assumption is its period time. Its period time is the same as the orbital rotation time of the electron in the hydrogen atom in its ground state. From this de Broglie equation and Bohr's radius, this period time is this value. Then S for electron is this value. The fourth assumption is S for proton. S for proton is S for electron value by mass ratio of proton and electron. Then S for proton is this value. Here MP is mass of proton, this value, and ME is mass of electron, and this value. Then new force Fs between electron and proton is this formula, and value is like this. This is just the Coulomb's force in case of these assumptions. But I think the period time of its rotating on its axis maybe twice is suitable because of the spin quantum number 1 by 2. From above two study, this new force looks reality, and one of the candidate, so-called dark energy. Thanks.